Today is my honor to not interview one, but two amazing leaders in not just the legal fraternity of India, but in the mediation fraternity of India, in the leadership within the legal fraternity of India at the highest court, the Supreme Court. And I have on my left Mr. J.P. Singh, sir, and on his left is his amazing spouse, Miss Zubeda Begum, man. And I'm so humbled in their presence. I just feel great to sit here and talk to them, and without even asking a single question. So I have no doubt that you will learn a lot from their presence and their amazing life that they've already led, and lessons that. So we're going to have an organic conversation. We haven't planned anything. Ma'am, I want to ask you first question, and then I'll go to sir. Then my first question to you is, you've been mediating so many cases in Delhi, at Delhi High Court and other courts, and you are known as not just a star mediator, a mediator who gives a lot of time and compassion. In this project of leadership, which I think India has produced the best leaders in the world, or really good leaders, I'm really intrigued by you being a woman, and if I may use the word minority woman, even in India, are shining in the field of law and mediation. Would you please share a little bit about your story? Whatever you think will be helpful for our listeners to know more about you.
In the field as a mediator, right? Well, what I feel is I have used my status as a minority to develop the compassion for everybody. And I use that for the purposes of trying to bring in that when I'm doing mediation.
Wonderful.
That is, when I'm seeing people, I don't judge them. I see them from the point of view that if you were in that minority position, how would you behave? And how would you feel? So by doing so, I try to bring out and make them at ease for the purposes of coming out with a story to a person who would feel that she has some similar connection or background with that kind of situation. So that helps person to express themselves better.
Yes.
And that puts them at ease to come out with the true version of their story. And that helps me to move forward.
Yes.
Because they feel that they have a connection with me, and therefore would be in a position to appreciate
Yes.
and move the story forward towards resolution.
Wow. J.P. Singh, sir, you are also, you've been on the advisory role, leadership role within the bar associations. You're also Vice President of Madhyam, the International Council for Dispute Resolution based in India. And for the last decade, I've seen you as a leader in the, not just legal laws practicing at Supreme Court, but also in the mediation scene. How would you define the role of a mediator being the role of a leader?
Actually, Simran, when the mediation movement started in India, the bar was up in arms.
Okay.
As was perceived in US, they also thought ADR meant alarming drop in revenue. The district court bar had already, broken down the entire center in district court. And it was at that time that Justice Kaju, who was our Chief Justice, approached us and said he wanted to set up a mediation center in the Delhi High Court. And that we took as a challenge.
Right.
Because we thought mediation was something, it was a great idea, whose time had come.
Ji.
Courts were already overburdened.
Yes.
We already had the Salem Bar Association case where the Supreme Court asked all the high courts and the district court to set up court-annexed mediation centers. Because pendency was too much.
Yes.
And court ultimately was at that time. Why did we get support from the court? Was because court was looking at offloading their work. And they were basically looking at settlements. But over the period of time, I realized mediation actually became a form of meditation for us. It was spirituality. And this was not about settlement, but it was about transformation. And so we took it up as a challenge. We hid and went and did our first training. The bar didn't come to know about it. And then we came back and told the bar that this is something great that you should do.
Wonderful.
And, there was so much of reluctance. And I persuaded some of my colleagues to come and be trained first. And today they are my best bet when I always go around saying, if I today need anybody to a mediation, I have these 56, 57 people who you tell them they'll leave their work and come for mediation. And that's the challenge which ultimately we took up. And today, Delhi High Court Center is one of the best relief in the country.
Absolutely.
So it was a journey which started as a challenge. And today, if I announce that we need to go for a training, where people were reluctant to go, I have 400 applications against 40 vacancies, of 40 seats that we have. So bar has taken up now as a big alternative profession as such. Lawyers in the High Court today want to refer their matters first for mediation instead of advising parties to file matters in court. And huge settlements are happening.
Yes.
Commercial matters, the largest we've done is about 758 crores.
Wow.
In a matrimonial dispute of which I was the mediator, parties settled at 21 crores. The movement got 21 crores. So, what was earlier thought as something which was not acceptable to the bar, today, so far as Delhi is concerned, the bar is fully sensitized. And that was a challenge we took up, and today we feel very happy where the High Court has reached.
Amazing. Man, let me ask you, follow up on that. And Sir is giving us a big picture thinking and coming back to people skills, coming back to mediation skills, which I love this balance you both have. Ma'am, when you mediate, besides curiosity and building people up, what other skills do you bring to the table? Again, going back to your success and how people revere you in the practice of mediation, you must have more skills. So I request you to share some more with us.
See, first, when I'm talking to people, I try to see how much trust I can get from them.
Yes.
So that they open up with me, and they should feel confident that if they confide into me, it shall remain with me. So that takes little time, but the moment they feel, maybe my body language is such, they do get that feeling that I'm a compassionate person, and if they do tell me something, it shall remain with me, and therefore they are willing to open up. So once I'm able to build that trust, which I do in private sessions.
Yeah.
In joint sessions, I just say, let's hear each other, let's listen what they are saying, and then we break. Sometimes I take private sessions first when I see that the parties can't see eye to eye. So I don't let them sit together, and I ask them to give me an option which party wants to come first to talk to me. So whichever party decides, most of the time they say that this party has approached, so she must come or he must come to narrate his story. And then the first thing they come to say when I call the second party is, what did he say or what did she say? So I said, no, that I cannot tell because I have not taken permission. You tell me your story, and then let me see and take permission from both of you to see. So it has happened a number of times, and I think that word has gone, that I'm not willing to disclose unless some permission is given. And sometimes what I do, once I know that they are together, then I make them say that in joint session. I don't say it myself. So that builds also confidence that this was not communicated. So I try that confidentiality. Then I try to show that I'm not to be influenced if it's a big person or a meek female or a well-dressed female and a humble-looking person. I make sure that my body language is such that it doesn't show anything. So they feel that I'm not influenced the way they are standing or behaving. Even if sometimes they misbehave, I don't show anything, I just take it. So they feel like it's not going to work with me. So that's another thing which helps me to progress in my matter. And thirdly, I give them enough opportunity, and I tell that it's not that whatever you have told me or discussed with me, you might as well discuss with your counsels and then come back, because you have more trust in the counsel you have engaged. You are meeting me for the first time and you're just hearing. So you might as well consult them and then come back. So with that, they feel that I'm not trying to promote something which their counsel or they don't feel confident to do, or which is not in their interest. So that has also helped me in breaking ice with my parties which come to me.
Confidentiality, honesty, transparency, also paying attention to small steps. Small steps in mediation. Again, as you're listening to Zubeda ma'am, I want you to think about the leadership skills that a good mediator brings on a daily level to cases, can apply to life, can apply to company level issues, can apply to your daily challenges that you face in any corporate board or otherwise. Sir, coming back to Madhyam, going back to Supreme Court and your jobs there, and including Delhi Bar Association, tell us one strength. I know you have many, but tell us one strength that you are proud of, that you bring to, because I know you had to go through some losses, even the elections and stuff, but you come back, you fight back, and you are graceful about it. So tell us, for those of us who haven't done any of that, how do you go through that journey?
Sukhsaman, what is important, I find, is when people give you respect. You need to, live up to it. And when I started my journey in elections, I was a reluctant starter. I wasn't that open, in the sense of course I like talking to people, but I won't go up to someone, deliberately. But what elections taught me was actually to approach people. I was sometimes in the beginning rebuffed, and sometimes people told me things, and then they would say, joke kar rahe the. I was telling something as a joke. But it wasn't in a good taste. But I had to swallow all that. I had to swallow my pride. Because the only reason why I took up this challenge was, plus people told me that you want to do good things for others. Once you're in a position, you can do better things for others. And it's only first you come into that position, then only you can do things for others. And then that's the reason why I took it up as a challenge. I changed. In the beginning, it was tough, where people are not willing to accept, because they didn't find that I would like them. I wouldn't sit and have drinks with them, go out for kitty party with them, because I wasn't the kind. So it was very difficult for them to accept whether I would actually, do things what they require me to do as a leader. So therefore I had to change so many times, change groups, meet people, give them that feeling that, look, I'm here only to serve you. And when they realized that I was genuine, and they can easily approach you. My journey has been evening when I fought my election, I lost by 2 or 3 votes. 2 or 3 votes. Wow. And I was refused a recount. And the next election, people said, JP sir, we have given you so many votes, let them do what they want to. And my margin was 800.
800.
In an electorate of 4,300. So
2-3 votes won't make a difference.
And yes, and Sukhsaman, I don't think, people have surpassed that, in that. The last election that I fought, before this election, I had a margin of 1,900. So the love and the respect that I got from the bar, I have tried to repay that, keep that their faith, and repay that in as much whatever I could do, and I've done. And today, even when I'm not the vice president, people still come to me and tell me, sir, wo kaam kara do.
That is really done for us, and which is big respect.
They still come to me.
I see you both as a power couple, until the power couple, and in your own unique and humble ways, because I also sense that you like to give, and I know that you both do. Zubeda ma'am, I'm coming back to you to check on a case where you thought you have lost the parties or you have lost the case. Not the right word to use loss because there's no loss in mediation, but let's say you couldn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. But then days later or months later or even years later, you figured out, oh, I was actually helpful. Because I think it translates to real life when we all underestimate ourselves. Even the good things we do, it takes years for some of that to read. So would you share some of that thinking with us?
That's difficult to think, sir. Very difficult. Could you repeat your question?
So if you were doing a mediation where you thought the parties did not settle or they were not happy, and later on you figured out the mediation was utterly helpful or actually was successful because they came back together years later, let's say they reconciled and or they thanked you, they came in person, or you heard from a third party that the mediation was very helpful, but you didn't think it was that helpful.
Well, it was in a case of a partition suit between the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
And both of them wanted one of them wanted vertical partition and the other horizontal. And the law was such that did not permit subdivision of the plot because it was 500 square yards. MCD, the authorities said you cannot divide it.
Yes.
But you can construct it and divide horizontally or vertically, whatever way you want. But the area will be as per the large area of the plot, which is 500, which permits 70%. But had there been a division, vertical division, they would have got 100% coverage.
Wow.
So when they were not agreeing to anything, I was able to put a seed in their mind that either they should approach some builder which would sort out for them how to get the floor facing the part which each one wanted, and how the builder would take the backside, and yet they would have money to do it.
Yes.
Well, at that time, both the parties were stubborn that no, we are not willing to go to the builder, we want to resolve it ourselves and we are not interested, we'll fight it out in the court. And the matter was sent back to the court. When they went back to the court and the matter went on for a little while, then I came to know later on that they did approach a builder and got the way which they thought would work out, what both of them wanted, and which was there when I was the mediator. And later on I was told that this is how we have resolved a dispute.
Amazing.
And both of us are happy about it.
See, I knew there is this story that the reason I asked that, man, because when I give speeches, sometimes I've heard myself, of course, many times, and I'm not as enthusiastic about a speech that I've given 10 times before, 5 times before. But then students come to me or audience and say, that was so helpful, thank you. And that made me realize I have heard myself, but they have not. So we do underestimate our own self and how we do it. So, sir, you must have example, similar kind, where you have done something, planted a seed, helped someone, which you didn't realize, but people came back to you and said that was very helpful. As you were explaining, people still come to you as you are the vice president, even though you have left the post.
So, Chairman, this is, question of expectations. Sometimes people have very high expectations from you.
Right.
And you cannot meet everybody's expectations. Very bad thing, And
In life generally.
so even though I have, there was
You're not talking about her right now.
in fact, it was, everyone comes to you and says, now that you are the vice president, and I was also the organizing secretary of the Mediation Center.
Okay.
So, since they supported in my election, so they would like to go for mediation training. And we had limited seats, and there were so many applications, and so you cannot actually accommodate everyone. So some people would get angry with me, that, sir, you took him, but you did not take him for the training. Now tell him, look, you have a rationale behind. We want to take some people with domain knowledge. We want to take some seniors. Yes. We want to take some women. You want to take some younger people. So we create a kind of a gradation where choose people from different sections. And maybe you did not fit in at that time. Maybe next time I will see to it. But he was upset. In my elections, I was told the next election that he went with the other side and he hobnobbed with him. He knew my connections and he was disclosing those connections to them. But I still won. The people who supported said, sir, aap uske liye fir bhi karo. Do it still for it.
Yes.
Next time, in spite of the fact that he opposed me in those elections, I again took him for that. And people ultimately they realize this. Sometimes being a leader, you have limitations. You see, you cannot accommodate everyone all the time. Because of different reasons, as I said, you have to accommodate others who might be more meritorious than you.
Yes.
But question is not that I'm not wanting to help you. I really want to help you, but maybe I cannot in that particular circumstance. But later on, people realize this. And there are times, when you refuse to contest an election, they'll come and say, why are you not contesting elections?
You mentioned expectations, that it is about management of expectations. Wonderful. And all of us as mediators know, mediation is about managing people's expectations primarily. But sir, what about your own expectations? Do you expect high from yourself? Because I know you're very hard on yourself. I can tell. All of us are, in many ways. It's a good thing too. But what lesson do you have to share? Maybe, for example, you expect you should be managing your own expectations differently in different scenarios. What do you want to say?
My whole problem is this. I always run against time. Life, so many things to be done. I am at court cases. I do actual mediations. 78 mediations referred by the court to me.
Yeah.
I do trainings all over the country.
So court connection mediation, private mediation, training, litigation.
I'm also, you remember Sadhna, a colleague of ours, she passed away telling me, JP, people after 2 years in the mediation field has started writing books. We are still not done it. I want to write a book too. So there's so much to be done. And then on top of that, there are times, when you're asked, take over another responsibility.
Another board, another chair.
Another chair.
Yeah.
And I'm very diffident, man. Because I feel like, I'm being unfair to other things which are kept pending for me. And others don't understand this.
Right.
Somebody is offering that chair to me on the platter.
Yes.
So why is this fellow refusing?
It's not easy to.
Not easy. And today people are looking for that particular chair. Exactly. I say, sir, I don't want it. Because I have other things.
So you are managing your own expectations to have a clarity in mind, because you have to learn to say no, to prioritize the right things.
Because that's where I love my work. So I like to spend.
I was thinking of doing this tomorrow morning, and you said I have to go golf, which is the good.
So therefore, that's my stress buster for me.
Yes.
24/7. If I, and let me tell you, every mediation is exhausted.
It is in its own.
In its own way. And imagine doing 7 mediations a day.
7 a day.
7 a day.
So I want you to pause and listen to those who are listening from US right now. When we say we do 7 mediations a week or 2 weeks and we're exhausted, here we're discussing 7 a day. That's amazing.
And starting from matrimonial disputes to commercial disputes to...
I know once you were handling international disputes with Singapore parties.
Yes.
When I came
and there are sometimes parties in the US, and one is on East Coast, one is on West Coast. And I'm trying to balance time. And we do those hybrid mediations. So that's where you need to sometimes balance your expectations. And as you rightly said, learn to say. Because otherwise you will not justify.
Maybe you can tell us honestly, he has learned to say no.
I have my reservations.
You have your reservations. But coming to your personal life, you be your own graceful person that you are, and how you show others how to lead a life. How have you managed self-expectations?
Well, I would say I'm quite a disciplined person and I can do time management. So with that, I'm able to meet my expectations to quite an extent.
Wonderful. What a good answer, yeah. Even now, you manage time very well while answering.
Yes, I have, and rather children. I've continued with my profession. I looked after my mother-in-law. I looked after my brother, my sister, the home front, the cooking front, and of course, I didn't give up my profession. I was a full
And she
time.
was 15 years the standing counsel for Delhi government.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I
first counsel for the government.
and I still love my work. And I still love cooking. I still love my home.
Ma'am, if I may ask you, please forgive me, and if it's not right questions, don't have to answer it. But ma'am, being a woman in Delhi, in India, and still being a leader, how did those two gel for you? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Was it graceful? We are one of the only countries where we have one woman prime minister and woman president. So in some ways, our country, and we have goddesses that we look up to. So in some ways, we are a country that is open to the idea that the glass ceiling needs to be broken. Unless some other countries that claim they're broken and it hasn't broken yet, they call themselves developed. But you being on the ground, what guidance you have for the women that are listening to us, maybe young women or not so young women who are looking up to you, if it's a lesson or two you want to share, or any thoughts you have on that thought?
Well, that woman should have clarity. And she should know how to balance the two fronts without giving more time to the one and diminishing the other part. If you are able to do that and know what you're looking for, then you can manage both the worlds without anything.
So you're almost saying a woman has more or unique responsibility when you have to learn how to manage.
Yes, she has unique and difficult responsibility. If you give a thought to it, it's not so difficult, but yes, at times it becomes strenuous. So if you're strong mentally and physically, then you can walk through.